What is up, guys? This is Linthio coming at you with a card discussion today about a card that's coming out in Breaker of Shadows, aka BOSH. Great acronym. So the card is Reject Reborn. It is a normal trap card, and its effect reads as follows. When your opponent's monster declares a direct attack, ends the battle phase, then you can special summon one tuner monster and one synchro monster from your graveyard, but the effects are negated. Now, this is a certainly interesting card, and I had to read it a couple of times, simply because I didn't really believe what I was actually reading. Immediately, the deck that this directly supports is Synchrons, and with the new structure deck coming out not too long ago in the TCG for us, the deck has grown in popularity simply because we've actually got the combo cards that we've been waiting for about a year and a half, say, because the OCG have had them for a while. And this card, I think, solves a massive problem that Synchrons have. I've played the deck for a very long time, and my profile was up not too long ago, and the main issue that I have with the deck that you would have to technically craft into it, but would slightly hinder the main goal of your deck, is that if you get stopped, if you get TT'd halfway through your combo, if your board gets wiped, you are in serious trouble. There isn't a really big recovery factor simply because Pot of Avarice is no longer a thing in the game. And when I used to play the deck properly, when Pot of Avarice was around, among other decks that card really helped, it just really meant that you could recover from horrible situations that your opponent might interact with you. Now with this card, not only does it stop the battle phase, but it brings back two of your monsters to be able to make tuner plays next turn. And some of the best kind of case Reborns can be like a Stardust Dragon and a formula to go into Shooting Star Dragon, or you can go into like another Formula Synchron or an Excel Synchron and something else to go into like a Stardust Warrior. Now these are all big monsters that, you know, can help you come back from the brink of death, and I really do like it. The big thing that I like about it is the fact that it ends the battle phase. Yes, it does have to be a direct attack, because otherwise if you just attack one of your monsters it would be a free +1 and it would be kind of stupid. But the fact it kind of means that it's a last-ditch card, it's nice, because normally you would have to rely on things like Gauze or Trag or anything like that you might not technically want. Obviously the hand traps have a better upside, the fact that it's that hand trap and you don't have to set it on the field because this is vulnerable to MST. However, if you are playing against someone and you're in maybe game 2 or game 3, they're probably not going to be using MSTs in their main. They'll probably sided them out simply because you run a very heavy monster and spell lineup and you don't really run that many traps, maybe the occasional Royal Decree. This card is insanely good in my opinion, and I'm definitely going to be testing it out at 3, simply because you can churn through that extra deck and those tuners very, very easily. Now, you might say, yeah, you'd have to have some form of graveyard setup with a tuner and a synchro monster having to be there, but if you've played the deck, if you've seen it been played, it's not difficult at all. Turn 1, you can get multiple of those targets in the graveyard very easy. Even if you do get stopped along the way, like a Veiler or anything like that, it is still possible to fill your graveyard up. So I don't really see this being a dead card as such, because even if you top deck it and your opponent like doesn't have any interaction with it, you still set it, you still end the battle phase, and then you get 2 monsters back to make further plays next turn. So from this one card, you've gone +1, and then you'll be able to draw next turn to hopefully interact with the monsters you already have on the board. Now, yes, it does negate the effects, but at the end of the day, that kind of isn't the issue. You would normally go for something like, I said, ideal plays would be Formula Synchron, because that would be so good. Overall, really stoked about this card. Really hope it isn't a really high rarity, because I will cry, because I have to get 3 of these regardless, because I actually think 3 is going to be a really good number of it. I don't really see how it's going to clog all that much unless you draw multiples in your opening hands, and then obviously that restricts the combos you can do, and then that will restrict the amount of targets you have in the graveyard. But nevertheless, that's kind of the risk you want to take with this card. It's just so good. So I want to know what you guys think of Reject Reborn. Do you think it's any good, or do you just think it's a bit of a gimmicky card that's actually not going to be pulled off as much as you might think? So as I said, let me know down in the comment section below. Make sure to give me a like, comment, subscribe, and I should catch you guys later.